Imagine stepping into a still night where every star seems to shine for you alone, and the air holds a sacred hush. Across quiet neighborhoods and busy cities alike, believers rise with anticipation, moving toward dimly lit mosques or simply finding a corner in their homes. Somewhere in that hush, hearts beat in unison with a silent hope of mercy descending like morning dew. This is not an ordinary night, but Laylatul Qadr, the night beyond time, when a moment of sincere faith can unlock a lifetime of blessings. In this single night, the power of worship stretches beyond the confines of hours and reaches the promise of 1,000 months. Souls stir with longing, as if the heavens themselves wait to receive every whispered prayer. The air feels alive with possibility, as though history and destiny converge in the quiet pulse of this sacred night. Whispers of Laylatul Qadr weave through generations, carried in stories told beside lantern light and shared across family gatherings. Grandparents speak of how they felt a surge of peace when they knelt on their prayer mats, as if unseen hands offered comfort to their trembling hearts. Young men and women new to these traditions find themselves drawn into an age-old rhythm, standing shoulder to shoulder with neighbors, raising their hands in heartfelt dua. In those moments, social barriers fade, and a collective devotion takes hold. Even as the world slumbers, a hidden energy thrums beneath the surface, fueled by the unwavering faith of millions who seek forgiveness and closeness to the divine. Each rising voice becomes a note in a cosmic symphony, echoing back with a kindness that has no measure. The Quran itself shines a spotlight on this extraordinary night in Surah Al-Qadr, where Allah declares, "We have certainly revealed it on a blessed night. Indeed, we were to warn mankind. On that night is made distinct every precise matter. Peace it is until the emergence of dawn." Through these verses, the sacred book captures both the mystery and the mercy of Laylatul Qadr in simple yet profound language. The phrase, "we revealed it," points to the descent of the Quranic message, marking the night as a turning point in human history. The promise of peace until dawn reassures every soul that in the darkest hours, divine tranquility reigns supreme. With this promise, the night offers solace that transcends fear, bringing clarity to hearts heavy with regret and filling minds burdened by doubt. Beyond its poetic verses, Laylatul Qadr stands as a cornerstone of Ramadan, a month devoted to fasting, reflection, and community. It arrives like an unexpected gift in the final 10 nights when the world prepares for Eid but first pauses for a sacred interlude. In this interval, believers find a heightened sense of purpose. Each action, whether it is a silent prayer, a heartfelt recitation of Quranic verses, or a simple act of kindness, carries celestial weight. The ordinary transforms into the extraordinary as mundane moments become gateways to divine mercy. Through the smoke of incense and the glow of candles, every home becomes a sanctuary and every prayer mat a portal to eternal embrace. The story of the first revelation adds depth to the magic of Laylatul Qadr. In a quiet cave on the outskirts of Mecca, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, received the angel Gabriel, who brought the very first words of the Quran. That night changed everything, setting in motion a message that would ripple across continents and centuries. Imagine the awe and wonder in those first moments of revelation, the trembling heart of the messenger, the weight of divine words, and the urgency to share hope with a world steeped in darkness. That initial encounter became the living proof that no moment is too small to carry the seed of transformation. Through it, Laylatul Qadr emerges not just as a night of mystical power, but as the spark that set ablaze a new era of faith. According to tradition, on Laylatul Qadr the angels descend in great numbers, filling the sky like a gentle rain of light and mercy. Gabriel leads them down to seek out every sincere prayer and to record the destinies that will unfold in the coming year. The atmosphere becomes charged as if the heavens and earth lean closer to share secrets with devoted hearts below. Yet this descent is not a violent storm, but a peaceful flood of blessings, drenching souls in forgiveness and hope. For believers, the knowledge that unseen forces attend their worship brings a profound sense of being known and cherished. In that vigil of night, the universe itself becomes a witness to human longing, honoring every tear, every whispered confession. The most famous promise associated with Laylatul Qadr is that worship on this night can equal the reward of 1,000 months. To imagine this magnitude, picture every moment of prayer, every verse recited, every breath spent in remembrance, multiplied beyond comprehension. A single hour of devotion can eclipse 70 years of ordinary worship. This multiplication is not empty math, but a divine mercy that tilts the scales of fate toward hope. It invites even those who have struggled all year to find a moment of renewal, reminding them that sincere faith need not wait for perfection. Through this promise, the night becomes a refuge for weary souls, a fleeting chance to start anew with an embrace that lasts far beyond dawn. Forgiveness also flows freely on Laylatul Qadr. Countless sinners stand humbled, confessing mistakes under the silent witness of stars. Each regret becomes a stepping stone, not a barrier. This night holds the power to wipe the slate clean, releasing hearts from the burdens of shame and guilt. Many recount how they entered the night heavy with remorse but emerged with spirits light as air, freed by compassion that to human eyes seems impossible. This transformation is the hallmark of divine love. It reaches beyond what we deserve to give what we need. In that space, brokenness mends, hope rekindles, and faith takes root in fresh soil, while the night holds extraordinary promise. It is not a time for idle waiting. Believers engage in prayer, recitation, and remembrance in diverse ways. Some stand in extended Qiyam, moving through gentle bows and prostrations like the ebb and flow of the tide. Others open the pages of the Quran, letting its words wash over their minds and hearts, finding comfort in each verse. Many raise their hands in dua, crafting personal prayers that carry their deepest dreams and fears. In simpler moments, hands weave through beads of a tasbih, counting Dhikr until the mind settles into quiet gratitude. These practices need no fancy ritual, only the sincerity of the heart and the desire to draw close. Aisha, the beloved wife of the Prophet, once asked him what to say on Laylatul Qadr. He advised her, "Say, O Allah, you are forgiving and love forgiveness, so forgive me." In these few words, the Prophet distilled the essence of the night, seeking mercy directly from the one who delights in pardon. This simple dua exemplifies how direct and accessible spiritual connection can be. It suggests that no grand speech is necessary. A humble invocation from the heart suffices. In that whisper of forgiveness, countless hearts have found relief, pitcher and floodgate of mercy opening wide with each utterance. Intention holds a central place in Laylatul Qadr's power. A sincere heart, devoid of show and pride, becomes a magnet for mercy. Merely standing in the night without care for social status or public praise lays the groundwork for divine gifts. In a world that often values outward success, this night reminds believers that true value lies in inner purity. It calls each person to examine motives, to replace arrogance with humility, and to approach worship with a clear soul. This inward focus can ripple outward, transforming not just individual lives but entire communities as heart-centered kindness flows into daily actions. Tradition points devotees toward the odd nights in the last 10 days of Ramadan. Nights 21, 23, 25, 27, and 29 as prime opportunities for Laylatul Qadr. But the essence of the teaching lies not in guessing a specific date, but in dedicating oneself fully across all 10 nights. Each evening becomes an invitation to pour one's heart into worship without holding back. It is like entering a garden at dusk to seek a rare flower but finding its fragrance filling every corner, reminding the seeker of the treasure at every turn. This approach ensures that the spirit of Laylatul Qadr permeates the end of Ramadan, carrying its grace forward. Community gatherings amplify the night's spirit. Mosques come alive with soft recitations and gentle light. Families share whispered prayers in quiet living rooms. Strangers become companions under the same roof, united by a longing to witness mercy together. In these communal moments, the bonds of faith strengthen and personal struggles find solace in collective devotion. The echo of voices raised in unison weaves a tapestry of worship that bears witness to shared humanity. For many, the memory of standing side by side with neighbors, all hearts turned toward mercy, becomes one of the most vivid and cherished experiences of Ramadan. Yet Laylatul Qadr also invites solitude. Some souls retreat to a simple prayer rug in a secluded room, finding intimacy in the silence. With only the sound of their own heartbeat and the words on their lips, they cultivate a personal dialogue with the divine. In that private vigil, masks fall away and raw authenticity emerges. It is in these quiet hours that lasting resolutions form and true aspirations take shape. The contrast between communal energy and private reflection reveals the night's capacity to nurture both shared faith and individual transformation. The psychological impact of Laylatul Qadr carries beyond spiritual realms. The focus on deep contemplation, mindful prayer, and intentional rest can break patterns of stress and anxiety. In an age of constant distraction, dedicating a night to inner stillness brings a clarity rarely found elsewhere. The act of setting aside worries and immersing oneself in uplifting recitations creates a mental space for healing. By reinforcing a sense of purpose and connection, the night renews not only faith but also emotional resilience. It reminds believers that self-care need not be selfish. Nurturing the soul can ignite compassion for others. Modern life poses unique challenges to experiencing Laylatul Qadr fully. Screens glow late, notifications break the hush, and digital noise threatens to drown out the sacred rhythms of prayer. Yet technology itself can become a tool for devotion. An app that reminds one of prayer times, a virtual gathering that unites distant hearts, a recitation played softly in the background. In this way, tools that often distract can also guide. The key lies in intention. Whether by dimming a phone or using it wisely, believers can shape their environment to honor the night's peace. In doing so, they affirm that divine connection transcends the medium. Practical planning helps prepare for Laylatul Qadr's arrival. Some write down their hopes, crafting dua that speaks from a place of vulnerability. Others clear their homes of clutter, creating a calm space that mirrors the stillness of their hearts. Families sometimes share simple snacks before dawn to sustain energy during the night. These small efforts revolve around one main purpose: to let the heart remain unobstructed in its search for mercy. While rituals differ across cultures, the shared thread is a willingness to prioritize the night's blessings above all. Companion stories breathe life into ancient traditions. Accounts tell of Umar bin Abdul Aziz, an early caliph known for his deep humility, who spent nights in prayer until his face bore its glow. Others speak of women who would seclude themselves in small rooms, emerging at dawn with tears of poetry on their lips. Verses that praise mercy and forgiving grace. These tales remind believers that Laylatul Qadr has called devoted hearts through every age, inspiring acts of faith that ripple forward in time. They serve as beacons guiding modern seekers toward that same depth of devotion. As communities around the globe mark this night, the sense of unity grows. In Indonesia, mosques fill with the sound of merdu recitation. In Egypt, streets glow with lanterns guiding worshippers. In North America, families gather online for common dua. Each cultural expression highlights Laylatul Qadr's universal appeal and adaptability. Though customs vary, the core remains: an earnest night of worship that beckons mercy and renewal. This unity speaks to the night's power to transcend borders, languages, and lifestyles, knitting hearts together in shared purpose. Beyond the night itself, Laylatul Qadr plants seeds for a lifetime. Those who devote these hours often find their faith taking new root in the days that follow, influencing how they speak, how they give, and how they forgive. The urgency that defined those dark hours can infuse ordinary routines, turning small moments of kindness into acts of worship. The night imprints a vision of life guided by mercy, encouraging believers to carry its light into every corner of their days. In this way, Laylatul Qadr lives on long after dawn breaks. As we emerge from this sacred vigil, dawn's soft colors bring a mixed sense of joy and longing. The world brightens, birds sing, and the promise of sunrise mirrors the promise of new beginnings. Yet the memory of night lingers, urging hearts to hold fast to the mercy discovered in quiet prayer. It leaves behind an echo of peace that speaks of forgiveness, purpose, and divine love. For many, this echo becomes a guiding melody, inviting them to return to its themes whenever life grows busy or burdensome. Walking into the next days of Ramadan, believers carry lessons learned under midnight skies. Patience deepens, knowing that mercy arrives in its own perfect time. Gratitude anchors every breath, recalling the countless blessings poured out on that night. Hope persists, fueled by the knowledge that no moment of sincere faith is ever lost. Laylatul Qadr becomes a compass pointing hearts toward a life shaped by devotion, compassion, and trust in divine wisdom. In closing, Laylatul Qadr offers more than a fleeting spiritual peak. It extends an invitation to transform every moment that follows. It reminds us that time itself bends to mercy when driven by sincere intention. Whether standing amidst a crowd or kneeling alone in silent prayer, every believer steps into a current of grace suspended between heaven and earth. That current flows into the heart, carrying the promise that renewal is possible, that forgiveness awaits, and that divine love is ever near. Let this night beyond time leave its mark on the soul, guiding each step toward a life illuminated by the mercy first discovered in the silent hours before dawn.